Hey guys, Megan here with Barn Besties. Sadly, my bestie Stephanie is not here because I am on location in sunny California. Check it out. Yeah. But I am here with Emily.
Hi.
And she is a very busy working student at a very busy dressage training facility. And we were talking the other day about dragging, and she has a whole amazing process. And so we're going to talk about her equipment first, and then we're going to talk about her whole process. So, what do we have here?
So behind us we have our two main equipment pieces for the arena. We have our water wagon, which is pulled by our Kubota cart, and then we've got a big John Deere tractor, which is a little bit of on the bigger side of a tractor for what we need for the arena, but honestly it's been great and it does fit perfect in the arena. And then over here,
I want to see this because I finally got up close and personal with this sucker. Like, what do you use that for? Is that
so
decoration?
that just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
It does decoration for us. In the event that we needed to put out a fire or something, we could connect it to the hose there and it would be able to pump it through, but we have other different water sources for that. So it's predominantly just used for decoration on the water wagon here.
And what in the world is this? Because this looks like a huge piece of equipment. Like, you have an engine, you have a jack, and like, how do you start this sucker?
So it's pretty simple. It's a pretty standard little Honda engine. And so you're going to pull out your pin here, your choke, and then you're going to push your throttle up a little bit. And then from here, you open up your water valve here, and then you start it, you push the choke in, and then you pull the throttle all the way up. But it's super important that the valve has to be open first before you even start the engine at all, because this water pressure will build up and it could break a pipe and it could end up busting your engine. So it's super important. I always want, like, I open it first, get it all set up, and then I open the valve and then you start it up. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, let's see it. Okay. And then you can start watering the arena and we'll check it all out. Yeah.
Sounds good. So I just get it warmed up. I have it set like that for warming up, and then I'm just going to turn on the Kubota and then I'll pull it forward so we're closer to the arena.
And you like the Kubota? We've talked about UTVs. Have you tried other UTVs, or is this is the one?
This was what was here when I came several years ago, and honestly, it's been perfect for what we need it here. I've driven some other ones, and they're a little bit more than what we need, and then some of them are just a little bit less on the outdoorsy side, and it's an outdoor, lifestyle, so they have to be able to handle the outdoors. But the Kubota's been perfect for us, and it's a quite popular brand out here in California.
Yeah.
So it's what's readily available.
I love it when the dogs ride in it with you. That's my favorite.
I don't know. The one that likes to is hanging out somewhere else. So we'll see. We'll see if she pops up.
Camera shy.
Pretty much. And then when I start it,
you're going to want to stand, I don't know where I think Mr. Cameraman
might have to back up like over there or over here because it'll spray pretty wide.
Oh,
you good if I start it?
Yeah, go. I just don't want him sprayed.
Totally. And if you're listening to this, I start it so that it's sitting outside the arena, because sometimes when it's cold, it takes a second for the throttle to pick up and for it to actually turn over. That way I'm not making a puddle in the arena. It sits outside the arena for it.
So watch this, and then Mr. Cameraman, you're going to want to step back a good 5 feet. Okay, maybe even more. And then Emily, I'm going to take your really quick. I know you got to go. And you can see how it squirts outside of the arena. I like this option a lot because they walk around the outside of the arena with their horses. So not only are you watering your arena, you're also watering the track that goes around the arena, because for warm up, for cool down, you can have a nice place to walk. But you have to remember, on the outside of the arena, the chairs, the buckets, the tools are going to get wet. So you need to think about that. Like for instance, they have Comtex, so if we leave, a headset out and it's not in their case, it's going to get wet. If you have anything, it's all going to get wet. So just remember that. However, with this wide spray, I love it because you'll notice, we'll see how many times she goes around. I've watched her many times, but I think it's like only 3 or 4 laps that she does, maybe. So it's a very, very convenient. The other things I want to point out, we've had other UTV videos with Kubotas, and you can see in Southern California, they have the normal lights. They also don't have an enclosed cab. Their cab is open, but I do like the roof. We were also discussing where she parks what do you want to call it? The water, the arena water. They used to park it out in the sun next to the round pen, and those straps that hold the water tank to the frame actually rust and corrode in the sun. So depending on your location, you really want to think about where you're storing your pieces of equipment. She will also tell you in a later video her process, and I learned that she uses this piece of equipment twice. So it is going to be out in the sun at least twice a day. And now the rest of the time they park it under the trees. So it is covered, or it will go into a shed if there's room. But a lot of times there isn't room in the shed, bottom line. But what a wonderful water tank to water the arena. However, you also want to be thinking about if you are in the northern states where it freezes, you may not be able to use this piece of equipment if your barn is not heated. So I think about right now in Wisconsin, it is 9 degrees. We would not be able to water our arena. And then you have to think about storage. And I think we have a video on storing a weed sprayer, and Stephanie has some really good tips on storing. And you also have to clean out the pipes, so that way in the winter your pipes don't freeze and you can use it again in the summer. So thank you guys for joining us for a version of watering an arena, and please hit the like button, make any comments. We would love to answer any questions if we can. Obviously share, and definitely support our channel by subscribing. We really appreciate all the watches and all our subscribers. So we're going to move on to part 2, and that is going to be this piece of equipment. See you later, guys.